We remain standing, ladies and gentlemen, as we observe the university anthem. Thank you very much. Please be seated.
The Deputy Vice Chancellors, the Registrar, the University Librarian, Provost, deans of various faculties, heads of departments, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are seated to listen to the 295th inaugural lecture of our university, titled Unlocking Learning Potentials, the Right Language and Instructional Resources, to be delivered by Professor Aderonke Kofo Soetan of the Department of Educational Technology. Professor Aderonke Kofo Soetan was born on 3rd of May, 1956 in Ile-Ife, Osun State. She had a secondary school education at Oduduwa College, Ile-Ife, Osun State from 1971 to 1976, and her A-levels at Methodist High School, Okitipupa, Ondo State from 1976 to 1977. She obtained a Nigerian Certificate of Education at Adeyemi College of Education, Ondo State, between 1979 and 1982. From there, she proceeded to the University of Ilorin for a Bachelor of Education degree, B.Ed Educational Technology in 1986, and completed it in 1989. She bagged a master's degree in Educational Technology from University of Ilorin in 1995, and Doctor of Philosophy degree in Educational Technology from University of Ilorin in 2009. Professor Aderonke Kofo Soetan started a career as a fine art teacher at the University of Ilorin Secondary School in 1991, before she later joined the services of the University of Ilorin as an assistant lecturer in the Department of Educational Technology in 2008 and rose through the ranks to become a professor in 2022. Professor Soetan's areas of academic and professional interest are on the production and use of instructional resources to enhance teaching and learning across primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. Professor Soetan has served in various capacities within and outside the University of Ilorin, and this includes Subdean, Faculty of Education, Head of Department, Educational Technology Center, Postgraduate Coordinator, Department of Educational Technology, Member, Timetable and Room Usages Committee, Faculty Representative at the Senate, Member, Faculty Disciplinary Committee, Member, Faculty Ethical Review Committee, Level Advisor, Department of Science Education, Project Coordinator, Department of Science Education, Project Coordinator, Department of Educational Technology, Project Supervision for National Open University, Member, Editorial Advisor, Gombe Journal of Education, Chairman, Local Organizing Committee, Association of Information Technologies in Education, Conference, Chairperson of Rural Women Fulfillment Initiative, a non-governmental organization, Matron of the National Ife Descendants Students Association. Professor Soetan is deeply involved in community and religious services. She's a counselor at ASF St. Michael's Anglican Church. She also served as the Vice President and member, Bylaw Review Committee of Ilorin Amicable Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, to mention but a few. Professor Soetan is a member of many learned and professional bodies, which include Society of Nigerian Artists, Association for Educational Media and Technology, Association of Information Technologies in Education. Professor Soetan has over 50 publications in reputable, home-based, national and international journals, edited conference proceedings, and chapters in books. She has successfully supervised over 100 undergraduates, 25 master's dissertation, and 6 PhD theses. She has attended various local, national, and international conferences. Professor Soetan has served as external examiner and assessor to many universities in Nigeria. Professor Aderonke Kofo Soetan is happily married, and the union is blessed with children. I have the honor to invite Professor Aderonke Kofo Soetan to deliver the 295th inaugural lecture of our university titled Unlocking Learning Potentials, the Right Language and Instructional Resources. Good luck.
The Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Deputy Vice Chancellor Management Services, okay, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research Technology and Innovations, the Registrar, the Bursar, the University Librarian, Provost College of Health Sciences, the Dean of other faculties, Postgraduate School and Student Affairs, Professors and other members of Senate, Directors of various centers and units, Head Departments of Educational Technology, Heads of other departments and units, academic and non-teaching staff of the university, my Lord spiritual and temporal, members of my nuclear and extended family, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the print and electronic media, students of educational technology and other students present, great students of the University of Ilorin, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. To God only be the glory for making today a reality and for granting me the opportunity to deliver this 295th inaugural lecture. I appreciate God, who makes the impossible possible and paves way for the helpless. Truly, you are the merciful, gracious, and faithful God. I thank the Vice Chancellor, Professor Wahab Egbewole San, for the approval to deliver this inaugural lecture before these highly distinguished audience. Mr. Vice Chancellor, this inaugural lecture is the second in the Department of Educational Technology, and it marks the first occasion on which a female professor in the department is delivering an inaugural lecture. The first was delivered by Professor S.A. Onosoya in 2019, titled From the Slate Board to the Web, Paradigm Shift in Educational Resources Development. At the 230th regular meeting of the University of Ilorin Senate on the 10th of January 2013, approval was given for the establishment of the Department of Educational Technology at the University of Ilorin. I need to state that 3 courses are housed in the Department of Educational Technology are Educational Technology, Computer Science Education, and Technology Education. It is noteworthy that the Department of Educational Technology got full accreditation for 2 programs, Educational Technology and Woodwork Technology, under my headship in 2025. I appreciate God for giving me the privilege to present this 295th inaugural lecture titled Unlocking Learning Potentials, the Right Language and Instructional Resources. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, my journey into a world of education began in a rather unique way. I was denied admission into St. Peter's Anglican Primary School, Iremo, Ile-Ife, because I failed the right-hand, left-ear test. Question height-based requirements. Ọwọ́ mi ò tẹ́tí. Fortunately, divine interventions came through 2 dedicated teachers, Mrs. Olagbaju and Mrs. Okuseyinde, who asked me to pick 10 pebbles. These pebbles, the earliest teaching materials ever used, became my first instructional resources used to test my basic arithmetic skills, subtracting, adding, and dividing them in a readiness assessment. This humble exercise became the gateway to my primary education. After completing primary 6, I proceeded to Oduduwa College, Ile-Ife, and later to Methodist High School, Okitipupa, for my secondary education. It was during my time in Form 4 that my final teacher, Mr. Aladeju Igbe, from Ekiti State, encouraged me to pursue fine arts. Though initially reluctant, I followed his advice and earned an A grade in the subject at WASC, a decision I remain grateful for. In 1979, I was admitted to Adeyemi College of Education, now Adeyemi Federal University of Education, Ondo, where I studied fine and applied arts. This program nurtured my skills in drawing, graphics, painting, and textile designs. I completed my NCE in 1982 and was posted to Ilorin for my NYC. During this NYC year, I taught fine arts at Kwara Poly Secondary School and featured on NTA Ilorin's Homemakers television show, where I taught crafts like feather crafts and tie and dye and the like. It was there I met late Professor Yinka Ajayi Dokpemu. Professor Yinka Ajayi Dokpemu inspired me to pursue a degree in educational technology, a field that perfectly aligned with my background in arts and design. Admission into the program then required proficiency in drawing, painting, and graphics. When the admission came through, I joined the department at 200 level, and I offered Yoruba language, LIY courses, as my teaching subject under the tutelage of Professor Bisi Ogunshino, late Professor Bade Ajayi, and Dr. Bio Oyebola Biodun. Education is the process of acquiring knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habits to contribute to society. It is the process of giving and receiving knowledge in and outside the school environment. Soetan 2020 submitted that education is the bedrock of every society and a tool for nation building. It is the transmission of knowledge, skills, and character traits that manifest in various ways from one generation to another. Educational technology refers to the ethical and systematic practice of enhancing learning and improving performance by creating, utilizing, and managing appropriate technological resources and processes. It involves strategic integration of digital tools into teaching and learning activities to make education more effective and meaningful. Instructional technology is a subset of educational technology that involves designing, developing, and evaluating learning processes and tools. At its core, educational technology promotes inclusive and diverse learning experiences, empowering students to leverage technology for a lifelong learning. Mr. Vice Chancellor, it is noteworthy that the University of Ilorin pioneered the undergraduate program in educational technology in 1984. The inspiration behind this inaugural lecture stemmed from my teaching practice experience at St. David's Secondary School, Lagere Ile-Ife. I noticed the absence of instructional materials during teaching sessions, a gap I filled by producing culturally relevant teaching materials. During the inaugural lecturer's supervision of the teaching practice exercise, a student teacher teaching Yoruba pronounced Eson 9 as Eson repercussion. Another occurrence was that a padlock fell down. I told the student to pick the Agada Godo, and the student burst into laughter, mistaking it for incantations. These encounters made it evident that both student teachers and pupils were struggling with the Yoruba language, largely due to lack of instructional resources. The National Language Policy, NERDC 2022, has emphasized the urgent need to develop such resources. In response, I dedicated my research and professional efforts to the design, development, and use of instructional resources that support effective teaching of all subjects, including sports and languages, Yoruba in particular, thereby preserving linguistic heritage while enriching educational outcomes. Instructional resources refers to the materials and tools used to support teaching and learning, making it easier for students to understand and engage with the subject matter. Instructional resources do not only spark interest in learners, but also unlock learners' potentials when applied appropriately. Incorporating mother tongue-based resources into into teaching, this does not only enhance students' understanding, it also contributes to the preservation of indigenous languages, particularly the three major Nigerian languages, Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. A resource is any device, object, or machine used by a teacher to clarify or enliven subjects. It plays a vital role in stimulating developing learners' potentials, just as pebbles were once used to awaken the inaugural lecturer's potentials. Instructional resources appeal to these senses, aiding learners in better understanding of what is taught. Teaching learning resources remove dullness and make the classroom lively and interactive. This can only be achieved through the practice of educational technology in designing, producing, and using of instructional materials for technological, social, and economic development. Soetan 2009. Resources are also found on the internet and are referred to as e-resources. Soetan 2018 affirmed that e-learning tools include media that helps to deliver better understanding and have the benefit of encouraging learners to take responsibility of their learning and build self-knowledge with self-confidence. When real objects are unavailable, teachers may improvise substitutes to motivate and support learning. Soetan 2017 opined that improvised materials can be made from paper, stick, plastic, and other material found within the learner's environment. Community resources such as geographical garden, workshops, library, zoological garden also serve as valuable instructional tools. Assistive technologies are also available to assist learners with special needs. Resources are models, audio, visual, audiovisual, and e-resources. The essence of teaching lies in communication, where learners are instructed in a manner that facilitates understanding, provided the right language is used. A personal experience with my niece, who once lived with me, illustrates this. She was asked to bu agolo ẹ̀wà mẹ́rin kí o sì ṣá, that is, to measure 4 cups of beans and pick them. She requested for the meaning of mẹ́rin, but I did not respond. She began counting on her fingers, and someone else eventually helped her. This was a Yoruba girl who did not understand her own mother tongue. This observation can be said to be the parents' fault for not introducing their children to the mother tongue at the right time. This experience and that of St. David's Ile-Ife inspired the invention of a 2-dimensional electronic board. It's there. Language is the medium through which people think, learn, and communicate. It serves as a repository of a people's culture, achievement, and industry. The mother tongue is the language of one's parents, spoken within the environment where a child is raised. It embodies cultural values and personal identity, transmitting traditions and norms across generations. Yoruba is spoken by over 30 million people, primarily in Nigeria and across the diaspora. The Yorubas are one of the major ethnic groups in West Africa, predominantly found in Ekiti, Kwara, Lagos, Ogun, Kogi, Ondo, Osun, and Oyo State. Yoruba communities also exist in the southern part of the Republic of Benin, the eastern and northern part of Togo, as well as in Brazil, Cuba, Jamaica, and Trinidad. However, scholars such as Babumi Salau 2005 and Nadeyemi 2017 have warned that Yoruba language is under threat, largely due to its limited use in schools, despite recommendations in the National Policy of Education, FRA, in 2014. In response, the African Academy of Languages, ACALAN, established by the African Union in 2013, recommended that development of Yoruba educational materials, including mobile applications and online resources to safeguard the language from extinction, must be produced. The Vice Chancellor, sir, the inaugural lecturer adopted ADI model, a systematic framework that guides the design and development of instructional materials. According to Adobe, ADI model 2015, ADI consists of 5 phases that ensure the creation of effective and engaging educational tools. Both human and non-human resources are utilized, and each production phase is subjected to formative evaluation. The phases are analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. The integration of technology into language learning and preservation has become increasingly important in the 21st century. Technology presents a vital opportunity to promote literacy, cultural preservation, and accessibility. Yoruba language can be revitalized and passed on to younger generations in more engaging, fun-like, and entertaining ways through educational technologies. It has also been proven to increase students' engagement and participation in class. Okonka. This Okonka is a 2-dimensional visual that has graphics and light indicators. It starts with a sound to arrest learners' attention, and the colors are fascinating to further entice learners. This Okonka is developed considering the cultural background and of learners to keep the culture alive. On the surface of the Okonka, the cursor is touched with the stylus, the light blinks, and the number is mentioned in Yoruba from Okan Titide Ogun. Figure 2, version 1 and 2, are the first 2 versions of the Okonka. These ones lack portability, and also it's not fast enough. While the third version version of the Okonka is this. When the cursor touches, the stylus touches. When the stylus touches the cursor, it reads. These ones that it is can teach an individual and also groups of students. This version is foldable, portable, and more user-friendly. The National Policy on Education 2014 states that instructional resources should be developed using the mother tongue. Similarly, the National Language Policy, NERD's 2022, reinforces that instructional resources should be produced in indigenous language. The app was developed as an upgraded version of the Okonka because of COVID-19 that did not allow for that encourages social distancing. The app is a user-friendly tool developed in Yoruba mother tongue to motivate learners in order to comprehend Yoruba concepts with fun and to revive Yoruba mother tongue that is fading away, making it accessible to people on Android phones and preserving it for future generations. The screenshot of the app contains the alphabet and its identification things like A, Aja, B, Bata, D, Duru, A, Ewe, E, Eyin. It also contains the numerized too, Okan, Titi di Ogun. It has the vowels, the consonants, and also the song are there. A, B, D, A, F, E, G, E, G, Li, Mi, Ni, O, Pi, Ri, Si, Si, Ti, U, Vi, Yi. It also has the days of the week and not Ìkíni ní èdè Yorùbá and also other songs. Lábẹ́ igi òrombó níbẹ̀ la gbé ń ṣeré wá inú wa dùn ara wa yá. This app is to ensure that the language is preserved for younger generation. Recent advances in AI have enabled the digitization of processing of African languages, including Yoruba, in more sophisticated way. My contribution to knowledge. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, my contribution in the field of educational technology covers design, development, and use of instructional resources for teaching early childhood, primary, secondary, and tertiary education. Sure et al. 2014 investigated availability and utilization of tools that were to teach in early childhood schools in Northern metropolis and were being utilized by teachers. It involves the use of electronic gadgets like computers, digital camera, puppets, and electronic toys for communication purposes. Handwriting is a group of sequenced letters or symbols arranged to form words which can be transmitted from generation to generation. This study by Soetan et al. 2011 examined practical formation of words which become symbols of communication and the influence of legible writing and writing on students' performance in examination. The results indicated that students with good handwriting performed better in the exercise as examined by the expert. It was recommended that school proprietors should include school handwriting in the school timetable between 30 to 40 minutes a week. ICT can be referred to as technological tools and resources which are employed to communicate, create, disseminate, and manage information. Its use in the delivery of instruction is gaining more attention among in-service teachers those striving towards acquiring and displaying the skill of it is using ICT, constantly improving on the ICT tools. It was recommended that ICT should be encouraged by the in-service teachers to create channel of flow between teachers and students. Bolaji and Soetan, 2015. Slide tape is a multimedia package. Thus, Soetan, 2013, et al. Investigated the effects of slide tape on the performance of junior secondary school in pottery as an aspect of visual art in the learning. The slide tapes were made with films and framed with cardboards. The findings revealed that the performance of students exposed to slide tape considerably improved compared to those taught using conventional methods. Puppets. Soetan, 2014, developed a puppet video package for teaching color in selected junior secondary schools. The study concluded that puppet color magic video package produced and evaluated in the study, evaluated in the study enhanced the learning of color mixing as evidenced in the ratings of color wheel produced by the students and assessed by fine art lecturers and teachers. Soetan and Inaugural in 2016 examined the effects of ceramic computer-assisted package to teach ceramics in Ogomosho. The result established that the use of CCAIP was effective to promote instructional delivery in secondary school. It was recommended that CCAIP should be adopted in schools as a teaching tool. Soetan et al. 2021 assessed the attitude of hearing impaired students towards assistive technology, utilization for learning, and its gender influence. The findings established that students with hearing impairment were enthusiastic about using hearing assistive technologies. It was recommended that schools should hire educational technologists to help the appropriate use of assistive technologies to enhance classroom teaching. Soetan 2016 examined the necessity of games in instruction, types and video games as learning tools, guides on how to use games, and significance of games in learning, among others. It was recommended that games will be encouraged to enhance teaching and learning under teachers and parents' guidance. Soetan and Lolarewaju carried out a study on investigated student internet activities and their benefits on learning outcomes in secondary schools in Ilorin. It indicated that students had many benefits from the internet, such as being motivated to go on adventures, catching fun, and being able to solve many schoolwork and assignments. Soetan and Olarewaju, 2019. Improvisation is the use of an alternative when the real material or object is not available. The materials were processed to produce the internal mammalian organ, which cannot be seen unaided. The finding, it was therefore recommended that teacher trainees should be encouraged to produce and use improvised materials. Educational technology should also be employed in schools to teach and guide teachers on how to convert waste materials to improve teaching and learning materials. Soetan et al. 2020 investigated awareness of teachers towards the use of virtual learning for instructional purpose and influence of gender and experience on teachers' awareness virtual reality. The findings established that virtual bicycle and 3D map world were virtual reality facilities most respondents are aware of for instructional purposes. It was recommended that seminars and trainings should be organized for teachers on how to use virtual reality to facilitate teaching in and outside the classroom. Soetan et al. 2020 investigated types of indigenous instructional resources available for teaching basic technology, whether or not basic technology teachers use indigenous instructional resources. The findings revealed that the available indigenous resources were being used by basic technology teacher, and there was no significant difference between male and female teachers in their utilization of indigenous instructional resources. Soetan Ogundairo 2025 explored the role of business incubators and accelerators in fostering these entrepreneurship ventures, focusing on the unique challenges and opportunities within these emerging markets. The results indicated that incubators and accelerators are pivotal in providing multifaceted support of EdTech startups, including financial aid, mentoring, networking opportunities, and infrastructural resources. Ajayi Soetan et al. 2020 examined the influence of social media on colleges of education students' learning style in Kwara State. The findings show that social media had influence on colleges of education students' learning style, and there was no significant difference in the influence of social media on learning style based on gender. Soetan et al. 2020 examined self-efficacy on the utilization of hearing assistive technology for learning in Federal College of Education students, Oyo. The study concluded that assistive technology enhanced students' self-efficacy. Soetan and Oladele 2018 examined the available e-learning tools for use at the University of Ilorin. The study concluded that e-learning tools are available for undergraduates at the University of Ilorin. It was recommended that right attitude towards the use of learning tools should be encouraged among students in order to improve their acculturation. Information literacy skills refer to the ability that enables learners to successfully navigate the internet in search of information to enhance learning. However, undergraduates often lack the skills needed to solve the internet effectively and the skills to find the use of relevant information to filter out the relevant content. It was recommended that undergraduates should be encouraged to develop interest in surfing the internet for relevant learning resources. Soetan and Nominata 2016. Soetan 2019 investigated undergraduate perception and attitude towards the utilization of mobile technologies for blended learning at University of Ilorin, Nigeria. The results revealed that mobile technologies facilitate blended learning for undergraduates by allowing them to easily view course materials, making schoolwork more accessible and interesting. Soetan et al. 2021 assessed the influence of WhatsApp on academic performance of undergraduates from selected universities in Kwara State, Nigeria. The findings show that undergraduates in Kwara State used WhatsApp to chat with friends and found WhatsApp helpful in getting relevant information for their learning. Online learning resources have made a significant contribution in teaching and learning. The research findings revealed that respondents that had web tools for teaching and were familiar with web tools for learning. The study concluded that online learning resources encourage students in the academic field and assist students in future learning. Soetan et al. 2022. Soetan et al. 2023 investigated undergraduate awareness, utilization, and simulation of learning at the University of Ilorin. Simulation is often utilized for learning amongst undergraduates of University of Ilorin. Gender differences do exist between male and female students in the utilization of simulation among undergraduates in the University of Ilorin. The utilization of simulation for learning has enhanced various students' learning capabilities, and it has also increased interest among students in instructional content. Game simulation and cartooning. Soetan 2014 considered the use of interest, the need, interest, and ability of an age of students to enhance learning through play, which is useful for learning. It was found that simulation games and cartooning are full of activities for learning towards behavioral change, involving active participation of learners, and they are able to express themselves freely without hindrance, and learners interact freely with the environment. my contribution to practice and community. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the use of instructional resources spans all domains of learning, including sports and soccer, table tennis, and athletics. Mascot, in particular, plays a vital role in representing sports teams. The mascots were horse-shaped, one in chocolate brown, and the other one in green, white, green, the color of Nigeria, which is the hosting country. This well-crafted mascot enhanced fun experience, boosted team morale, and contributed to the visibility of cultural richness in the event. The mascots that were used in 2012 for the West African University of Games, hosted by the university, was produced by the inaugural lecturer. Figure 4, that's mascot Soetan 2012. Tie and dye and batik contribution to learning. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I would like to highlight my significant contribution to our university community in the area of teaching of tie and dye and batik in the GSC 301 class. This craft, collectively known as Aderonke, is a technique in which certain areas of fabric are bound or tied with raffia or twine so as to resist color. When the material is immersed in dye bath, the two primary methods of Aderonke and Aderonke involves the fabric to create a resist. This hands-on learning connects students directly to their Nigerian heritage, fostering a deeper presentation of traditional art forms. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I submit that teaching of these skills is not merely for artistic endeavor, but a strategic investment in our students' futures, equipping them to become job creators, innovators, and economically empowered members of the society. Figure 5, Soetan Batik Soetan 2024. And figure 6, Soetan 2024. This is tie and dye and batik are put together. The two are designed and put in dye bath. Later it is removed from the dye bath and dried and washed. Then after washing, the batik is waxed and the twines are removed from tie and dye. The pattern will now form the beautiful pattern for the students. Other highlights of my contributions. As a lecturer, I have participated in trainings and workshops for lecturers, teachers, and students, enhancing e-learning and instructional resources at primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. I invented Aderonke, electronic board, to teach numerals as an aspect of Yoruba, which seems to be difficult for learners. It is cost-effective and available to teach in both rural and urban areas. I also developed the Ede app to teach Yoruba concepts of all ages. It is a full-fledged mobile language learning platform designed through an innovative multimodal approach. It is culturally immersive as it goes beyond traditional vocabularies and grammar instruction. I have supervised about 100 undergraduates, 25 master's dissertation, and 6 PhD to completion. I served as external examiner at Federal University of Technology, Minna, Lagos State University, and Alikima University. I also produced light tape for using film and cardboard as a frame to teach pottery making from clay processing to wares firing stage. Puppet, a doll figure controlled by a person, usually to tell stories, was produced to teach color mixing for junior secondary school students. Community engagements. I've served on numerous committees within my department. These include level advisor, faculty representative of Faculty of Agriculture, vice president, Amicable Multipurpose Society, chairman, Faculty of Education Dress Code Committee, 2016 to 2018. I served as the examination officer 2013 to 2015. I took part in the exhibition of the Society of Nigerian Artists, Ilorin branch, at the Cultural Center, 2013. I served as the Sub-Dean, Faculty of Education from 2018 to 2021. I'm a member of Association of Educational Media and Technology. I also served as the chairperson, Local Organizing Committee Association for Innovative Technology in Education in 2024. I was the HOD, Department of Educational Technology, from 1st August to July 31st in 2025. I served as proctor, UTME, in 2025, the editorial advisor to Gombe Journal of Education, chairman, Council Unit, St. Michael's Anglican Church, Tanke Okedo, member, governing board of Friends International School, Lagos, and chairperson, non-governmental organization, NGO, Rural Women Fulfillment Initiative, 2007 to date. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, Mr. Vice Chancellor, it is well established in educational research that the use of instructional resources in teaching makes learners more versatile and helps to awaken their potentials. The evidence consistently shows that every child can learn when exposed to the right guidance, language, culturally appropriate materials, and a learning atmosphere that encourages curiosity and confidence. Recommendations. Recommendations are proposed to guide policy formulation, instructional practice, and future development in educational technology. It includes among the following. Teachers should always use instructional materials to awaken learners' potential and facilitate meaningful learning. Schools at all levels should integrate their educational technologies such as mobile application, multimedia tools, and interactive boards, Okonka, and a app into language teaching to enhance and improve learners' engagement and learning outcomes. Teachers should be encouraged to improvise instructional materials using locally available materials within the school environment. Educational institutions should adopt assistive technologies to support learners with special needs, ensuring inclusive access to language learning and instructional resources. Government and educational stakeholders should enforce the implementation of national policy on education, national language policy, by ensuring mother tongue instruction, especially Yoruba, is effectively used in early stages of education with adequate instructional resources. Continuous professional development programs should be organized for teachers to design, improvise effective instructional resources. Parents and communities should be sensitized on the importance and using of mother tongue at home to complement school efforts and ensure early language acquisition and cultural continuity. Promotion of research in indigenous language technology. Researchers should be encouraged to explore AI, natural language processing, and digital innovation for indigenous language documentation, learning, and preservation, especially for Yoruba language. Acknowledgements. All praise, adoration, and thanksgiving belong to the Almighty God for his support, guidance, and protection from my birth to this day. Without God, I am nothing. Father, you are the creator of the universe, the architect of the galaxies. You open doors where no man can shut, and shut doors no man can open. I will forever praise your name. You transform my weakness into strength and my confusion to clarity. May your name be praised forever. I appreciate the management of the University of Ilorin under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor, W.O. Egbewole, San, and the members of the Senate for the reigning peace in the university. To my parents, Prince Joshua Adegoke Adeyemo and Morenike Deborah, who believed in me despite my challenges and helped to bring out the me in me. May your precious souls continue to rest in the bosom of your Creator. To my teachers, Chief Dio Ayinde, Awuja Olagbaju, Oladeju Igbo, I appreciate you. I also honor the late Professor Yinka Ajayi Dokwemu, late Professor Adewale Olumota Abolade, for supervising my master dissertation and PhD thesis with wisdom and care. My sincere thanks go to Professor Ayo Oloyede for facilitating my transition from Unilorin Secondary School into the academia. I'm indebted to my senior colleagues and junior colleagues in the Faculty of Education. Professor O.L. Olaito, current dean, Professor L.A. Yaya, and Professor M.F. Salman, under whom I served as sub-dean. To the great departments of educational technology, I appreciate everybody. Under the leadership of Professor M.O. Yusuf, under the headship of Professor C.O. Lumoni. I sincerely appreciate my colleagues from Federal University of Oyo-Ekiti for creating a warm and enabling environment that truly makes me feel at home. To my mentors, Engineer P.K. Oyatoye and Professor Oyatoye, Paulu Ole, your encouragement has greatly guided me. I acknowledge members of IT under the leadership of Professor M.O. Yusuf and the Society of Nigerian Artists Learning branch for the value added to me and unity among us. I recognize my students at Kwara Police Secondary School, University of Ilorin School, and my undergraduate masters and PhD graduates for your dedication and support. My appreciation extends to my family at Tanke Okedo, Temidire, for the love unity among us. I'm also grateful to all members of St. Michael's Anglican Church Okedo, to my friends at Oduko 73 and Abikan 81, I salute you. And to the federal, I also appreciate the Federation of FIFA, Descendant Union, for their prayers and for seeing me as their daughter. Thank you. I appreciate you with love. I also appreciate friends and families of Kwara State for making my stay in Ilorin truly worthwhile. The Otekolas, the Ogundokuns, you are greatly appreciated. I recognize the staff of Office of His Royal Majesty, HRM Oni of Ife, Obaini Iton, Ogunwusi II. I also appreciate the Oshikola ruling house of Akwi Compound, Ile-Ife. Gratitude to Mr. Dada and Femi Oyeshola, my Yoruba doctorum and global integrated innovations, and families for this patience. I'm thankful to my families, the Soetans from Ago Ododo, Abeokuta. To my children, Anu Oluwa, Mofifoluwa Sho, and Ife Oluwa, Mofifoluwa Toshueton. Your presence in my life has been one of my greatest blessings. Each of you has given me strength, joy, and motivation in ways words can never express. To my other children, Maya Wakayode Kayode, Maya Wakayode, and Ayomide Oshijola, I appreciate you all. I thank you for standing by me even when times were rough. I sincerely acknowledge my husband, Jolori Ebi, whose support has been my constant strength. Your encouragement as well as your belief in me had carried me through every demanding moment of this journey. I'm very grateful for helping me to realize my inner strength. I thank everybody here present for your patience and attention. I wish you all a safe trip back to your destinations. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, kindly permit me to end this lecture with this song. A ọpẹ́ ló yẹ, a ọpẹ́ ló yẹ, mo wà láyé, mo wà láyé, a ọpẹ́ ló yẹ.
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of all of us, let me congratulate my own sister, Professor Aderonke kofo Soetan, for treating us to the 295th inaugural lecture, Unlocking Learning Potentials, the Right Language and Instructional Resources. Congratulations. And on our behalf, I want to appreciate some of our guests. I start with the university scholars. Thank you for coming. The Vice Chancellor, Kwara State University of Education, Professor Medina Folorunso Salman. Thank you, ma'am. The former deans of the Faculty of Education, Professor A.S. Olorundare and Professor Lassie Leaya. Thank you for coming. My dear wife, Ajamu Ibat Adeole Egbewole, thank you for coming. We appreciate the royal fathers here present. Specifically, I recognize Oba Adeniyi Aderemi, the ally of Oba of Ayoba Kabiesio. And we through you represent His Royal Majesty, the Ooni of Ife. We recognize the clergymen. One, the Olori Ebi of Oyebade Lawrence Adeyemo of Oshinkola Ruling House of Ife. Prince Adeniji Abimbola Adeyemo. Prince Adetunji Adeleye Adeyemo. Alhaji Bisi Kolawole. Thank you all for coming. Kayode, sorry. The clergymen, Professor Venerable A.S. Idowu, Reverend Sunday Akpalowo, Reverend Canon E.O. Jayeola, Reverend Canon Ojo Idowu, Reverend Dr. Ajibade Adeyemo, Venerable Omoni from Oshogbo Diocese. We recognize the presence of the members of our Association for the Innovative Technology in Education, Society of the Nigerian Artists Kwara State Chapter, ably represented by Mr. Babatunde Onyeloye. We appreciate the presence of Omoba Oyebade Lawrence Adeyemo again, and of course our brother Mr. Patrick Akinwutan, Managing Director, Regional Executive EcoBank Group, Nigeria. We recognize the Soetans from Agodo, Abeokuta, the in-laws of the inaugural lecturer, the Federation of Ife Descendants Union, Professor Jide Mustafa, Captain Mukailo Ademiju, Air Vice Marshal Debo Odunlade, the Otepolas, the Okpaderes, the Ogundoguns, Adeyemos from Oshinkola Ruling House. We appreciate the presence of Mr. and Mrs. Shijuade, Professor Obiyemi, my own brother, Brother Wahab Anibi, thank you for coming. Professor Mrs. Omoshewo, the Ogundoguns, the Dr. Dupe Shitu, Alhaji Bisi Kayode, Mr. Folusho Adeyemo. Of course, we recognize the parents of the inaugural lecturer, even if they are not here with us physically. I am sure they are here with us in spirit. We bless their souls. Late Prince Joshua Adegoke Adeyemo and Mama Deborah Morenike Adeyemo, both of blessed memory. The children of the inaugural lecturer, Mr. Anoluwapo Mufifoluwasho Soetan, thank you for coming. Mr. Ifeoluwa Mufifoluwato Soetan. This shows that our inaugural lecturer is a veteran in Yoruba language. And my other children, and the other children of the inaugural lecturer, who has lived with the family for long. And of course, the spouse of the inaugural lecturer, Dr. Stephen O. Soetan. Thank you so very much for coming. And of course, for all of us, we say a big thank you for witnessing the 295th inaugural lecture.
Shall we arise, ladies and gentlemen, for the university anthem? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for being a part of the 295th and the series of inaugural lectures of our university.